Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Shed Build. Today I'm going to be finishing the door. We are going to be trimming it out as well as shingling it to complete it with the siding, and hope you guys enjoy. All right, we finally just got the last of the shingles on to finish the door here. Now, the one thing I really, I love how this door turned out. First of all, I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but I think it looks great. The one thing that I was going to point out too, in the earlier videos, you've probably seen me putting on these big, heavy hinges, and some of you are probably thinking this is way overkill, but because I knew we were going to side it with this wood siding, and I knew the door was going to be heavy, and as a result of that, now when I open the door, it just opens perfectly. The door's not sagging on the hinges whatsoever. I put this lock on, and then I did all these shakes, so it's added a lot of weight since I've installed this. Closes easily, no problem, so definitely worth investing. I think these were like super expensive, like $8-10 a hinge in Canada here, so it was worth investing in these hinges just because I knew the weight of this door was going to be so heavy. The one other little trim detail I'm going to do, I'm going to get a 90-degree little piece of brown trim, just put it under here. It'll do two things. It'll act as a drip edge to make sure the water doesn't go in behind these shingles, but it'll also cover the highest row of staples here. It's not a real big deal to me, but and I doubt where I've got the shed placed it will make any difference for the water, but just clean it up a little bit and hide all the staples on the final row. So overall, super happy with how this shed turned out. We built it in a super tight space. It was built niche just to fit this very specific corner of our property in the back. It acts as a privacy fence on the one side, goes to the fence line, and then we got probably a third, maybe a bit more storage than our previous plastic garden shed. Plus this thing, way sturdier. You can screw things on the wall, hang shovels and rakes all the way around. The inside, the walls were 6 feet on the low end, and I think they're a full 8 foot on the front. So on the back end of the wall, you got full head height all the way around. There's no ducking like in the corners of some of these smaller garden sheds you would buy, these plastic lifetime ones, which are not really lifetime. The hail in our old one put lots of holes in it that broke it, and once the plastic got old and got brittle, it was just a really big piece of junk. Luckily I was able to sell it for a few $100 still and put the money into this guy. The next thing we're going to do now that the build is completely done is stain all of the shingles, and that should wrap this project up other than putting the tin on. Originally I wasn't going to actually even start this project till this year, but I had enough time at the end of last year to do most of the build. I just really had to finish this front up this year, so I'm super happy to get this done and out of the way. Overall, the cost to do it like this was about the price of buying a wood shed from one of the big box retailers. Where I am, the big wooden sheds are selling for about $3,000 to $4,000. This shed, I bet you, I've probably got less than $2,000 in it actually, with everything, and that's including these big wood skids. The entire garden shed was actually framed out of pressure treated wood. It was sheeted with 3/4 inch pressure treated wood. The reason I used 3/4 inch was because I knew I was going to be shooting these staples in, and I wanted something for them to bite into. You really don't need 3/4 inch wood on a garden shed typically, but because I wanted the staples to stick, I went that route. And you probably really don't need treated wood either, but I thought, you know what, if this ever leaks or anything, I don't want that wood to rot. So this is about the most expensive way you could actually build this shed. The shingles themselves actually weren't bad. For some reason, the price of lumber is ridiculously high right now, so the shingles were about $100 a bundle. I bet I have 6-7 bundles total in this shed. A bunch of them were left over from when I did the gables on the house last year, but I did have to buy a couple extra bundles to finish this off that I didn't have left over. So those are fairly expensive. Normally, a bundle of these number 2 shingles are about $60 Canadian here. This year they're $100. So most of them I bought for the lower price. So I think overall I probably got a solid maybe $600 in shingles. Stainless steel staples, fairly expensive as well, but I had a lot of those left over, so it didn't cost me much. And just the cedar trim to finish the front here. That was another $50-$60 worth of boards and trim I had to buy this year to trim it all out. But overall, it's been a really good project so far, so we're going to go ahead and start staining this now. And then I'll get the final little piece of tin on. We'll be done this project. And definitely would recommend doing this if you're somebody that wants a really high quality garden shed. Like I said, the ones you buy at the big box stores are $3,000-$4,000. The big difference though with those ones, they're all made with 2x4 framing, which this is as well. But the big thing with those is the outside skin is just basically a piece of plywood or a piece of board with the outside pressed to look like wood. So you're painting it, and paint peels and delaminates, and I've seen those sheds in about 5-6 years time. They look like garbage. Also the roof rafters in those sheds, I've seen them framed out of 2x4s occasionally, but more often than not it's like a 2x2 framing for the roof, pretty flimsy. Then the doors are all made with that basically it's like a particle board that looks like wood. I can't remember what exactly they call it now, but they paint it and it's supposed to be good for forever, but it's really not. It gets water in it, delaminates, swells. So I figured, you know what, for that kind of money I might as well build it myself and have an absolute premium shed. So if that's something you're looking for, definitely consider doing something like this. You don't have to use cedar shingles by any means. You can get you could probably cut the price of the shed in half if you just went with conventional siding and regular shingles. But like I said, I had a lot of this material left over and I really like the way it looks. So anyways, on to the staining, and we'll get started on that.